video record, so I'm recording both. That's good. And you can lean more to your right now if you like.
Okay.
And I
No, to your right this way. Is that what you want to be on?
get this dog
Okay.
rebooted.
We're good there. That's good. We are live. Are we music? We live still.
Hi.
When we don't need music.
Did you get one of those?
We're live.
Okay.
Now.
March 26th.
This
Des
is
Moines,
Mark
Iowa,
Warner with
presidential
FTR Radio, and we are
Good man. Thanks.
live with Congressman King from Iowa, 5th Congressional District, correct?
Yes, sir.
What areas does that cover, Congressman?
It's the western third of the state, and it runs from Minnesota on the north, Missouri on the south, and my western border is Nebraska and South Dakota.
Nebraska. I'm a Cornhusker fan. No offense.
Oh, you are? Well,
And even though I grew up in Iowa, I'm a Cornhusker fan.
I'm okay with that almost every Saturday.
But I wanted to talk to you just the landscape of Iowa. I mean, I grew up there, and, I was raised there, so I understand the landscape of Iowa, but it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So just give me a brief, how is Iowa doing economically? I know that's a lot of farm area around there, so just give us an insight on how Iowa's going right now.
Well, I make the argument that all new wealth comes from the land. Whether you mine it out of the earth or whether you raise it from the soil, the new wealth is generated there. And then we value add to that in all kinds of businesses. So when we went into the economic downward spiral back in the fall of 2008, and the people were panicking, and to some degree, and there was a concern about a global credit crisis, global currency crisis. They thought we might collapse into a deep depression. I gave a speech in Sioux City at the downtown Rotary Club, and I said, however bad it gets, we're going to weather it as well as anyone. And the reason for that is we're anchored into the land, our foundation of our capital is there, and we're closer to our families, to our faith, our communities, than anybody else, or as close as anyone else. And all of those things are the underpinnings that will hold us together. We've bridged across this pretty well. Our unemployment rate went up. I mean, we're in the low 6th percentile, and in my district it's probably a little lower than that. And so we're moving along okay, and I say that, if we hadn't listened to all the news, we wouldn't really be sure there was a problem.
Right. I live in Indiana, and Governor Daniels is my governor. Pretty proud of him. Who is the current governor of Iowa now? Is that Branstad? Did he win that race?
Terry Branstad was elected governor. He served 4 terms.
Right,
and
I remember that.
Was out of office for 12 years, and he saw the mess that they had turned the state of Iowa into and decided to come back and put it back right again.
Right. Now, growing up, Iowa's is a pretty Democrat state. When I was growing up, how is it now? Is it kind of half and half, or is it more Republican now, more conservative?
If I were going to draw a line, I'd just say that western Iowa is a strong Republican region, and eastern Iowa along the Mississippi River bottom, and then Iowa City, University of Iowa, and Des Moines area, Polk County, those are strong Democrat areas. And we flipped back and forth. We had majorities in the House and the Senate and the governorship when I was in the state legislature in the late 90s.
Right.
And after I left, we lost all of that. And Tom Vilsack, actually, he became governor while I was still there, and they held both the houses of the legislature and the governorship. They borrowed everything that they could borrow, ran the state into debt, grew government and responsibilities, and now it swings back again where the fiscally responsible people are taking over. We picked up like 16 seats in the House of Representatives, won the majority. We've got a 60-seat majority in the Iowa House now, and came within 2 seats in the Iowa Senate when they said it would be impossible to win a majority. So, and won the governorship, and we won several statewide offices as well. So we've made a lot of progress. We've got a ways to go.
Right. Now, is Iowa going to join in on the health care lawsuit with the other states?
They have. And
okay.
My former chief of staff, Brenna Finley, ran for attorney general in the state in this last November. She finished second, which I'm sorry to say, but she also is a strong advocate for joining the lawsuit. She became Governor Branstad's general counsel. Now, I don't know what went on there, but I'm pretty confident the two of them had a conversation. Iowa joined Florida's lawsuit, and of course we saw that decision come out here a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And that's encouraging.
That is encouraging. Now, as far as the House of Representatives go, here in D.C., how are you guys handling the majority now? What are your plans? I mean, I've heard plans from, Boehner, and, we have other plans from, we've heard from Pence, which Pence is not my rep, but he's We don't know if he's going to run for governor or not, but got
I
a
think
pretty
he
good
will.
idea he's going to. But what are your ideas and what are plans that you're going to be proposing in the House of Representatives these next few months?
Well, you have to. It's different a legislative agenda that I put together that I think that I can contribute to passing versus what I think is the right thing for an American agenda, because you have to work within the committees you're in and the zone of influence that you have, and then you look at other zones of influence in committees and try to make that fit.
Right.
But here's how I look at this: is that we've got to shut down this spending. We've got to be willing to cut government, and we've got to be willing to do it and cut deep, and we've got to cut into what some would describe as the muscle, because it goes beyond the fat at this point. I'm absolutely for $100 billion cut out of the CR coming forward, but that's not enough to satisfy me and many others if they could actually get a legitimate vote. We have an automatic appropriations that are built into Obamacare that if I'm not successful in the amendment that I've drafted to go to the CR, they will go forward and appropriate $105.5 billion automatically that'll be used to implement Obamacare and
Right.
carry it out, even though we will say we voted to repeal it and we voted to cut any funding out of the CR. The automatic funding in there is 100+ times greater than anything we can cut out. So what we have in front of us, the continuing resolution that was just released last night, is a 1% solution. What I'm proposing is a 100% solution, and will never be stronger than we are right now in this Congress.
Right. I grew up a Reagan conservative, and that's how I was raised. But when I look at government and how it's gone from a strong, solid to just falling fast. Last night, my governor, Mitch Daniels, spoke at CPAC at the Reagan dinner. I don't know if you heard the speech or not.
I did.
Were you here for it?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually moved into this hotel for CPAC and my staff.
Right. He called the government morbidly obese, and he's right. I don't know what his plans are. I would totally support a Mitch run. I would get behind that. I'm already behind it. And that was tough for me because I didn't know what Pence was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow, I like both of them. What do I do? But he's right. Our government is so morbidly obese that the spending needs to stop. And I hear groups going, we need to spend more. And I'm like, the money that we spent didn't do a thing. It didn't do a thing. And I know growing up in a small family farm atmosphere, when the economy was good, we were doing great. I can't imagine what farmers are going through right now, especially in Iowa, where that is the livelihood, especially in your district. That is the livelihood of a lot of those people. So how are they facing this tough time?
What they've seen is actually the strong grain prices have been helpful to our grain producers. It's been hard on our livestock producers.
Right.
There's if you're diversified out there, if you have some grain and some livestock, then it finds a way to blend itself, and you can bridge these ups and downs a little better. But I will say land prices have held pretty strong. And a lot of farmers saw what happened during the farm crisis of the 80s. They decided they would not be highly leveraged again, and so they went to work to get things paid for, and then they operate off their own capital. It's pretty hard to go broke if you've got an operation where your land's paid for, your equipment's paid for, and your input costs are paid for. Then it's pretty hard to go broke. So that isn't the case for everybody. We have new and emerging farmers that are in tougher times on that. But these times that we have now are not bad times for agriculture if you look at it from a historical perspective. And we're in better shape than I maybe thought we would have been at this point.
Good. Now you have an event coming up in March in Iowa. What is that?
It is a one-day Conservative Principles PAC convention. My PAC, which is the Conservative Principles PAC, we've decided that the presidential caucus season has not kicked off. It's too slow. Too many have put their toe in the water a little bit, and maybe not even enough of them, and then left. So there's, they stitch themselves in and out of Iowa, and it's hard for the candidates to have access to the activists.
Right.
And so, they have other things to do too, and they kind of wait for somebody to come see them. We want to bring all the candidates under one roof. We want to bring the maximum number of activists under the same roof. and then have a chance for them, the candidates, to recruit people to become part of their volunteer base and maybe some of their paid staff too, which happens, and engage in these ideas, give their speeches, do the best they can to inspire people, and launch the Iowa caucus season March 26th at the Marriott Hotel in Des Moines, Iowa. And I'm inviting you and all the bloggers and the media to come. All the presidential candidates have been invited. We have a respectable list that have already confirmed. There are others that will, I'm very confident. And then that evening, the keynote speaker will be Senator Jim DeMint from South Carolina.
Great.
And he is committed, and I spoke to him yesterday about another subject and reconfirmed it. So that's what will take place that day. I'm really looking forward to it. I am very confident from what goes on here at CPAC and this 3-day convention that we're going to have a very interesting single day at the Marriott Hotel on March 26th in Des Moines.
Great. Well, I appreciate your time, Congressman. I know you're busy, and I know you got a lot of things going on, so enjoy CPAC the rest of the day, and we'll look forward to seeing you again.
We'll see you up in Des Moines.
All right,
It's
thanks.
a point to be there. Thank you very much. That work? Okay. I'm going to slip next door here.
Thank you very much.
Glad to do it.